Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. This is Indiana Sports Talk, brought to you by Indiana Donor Network, driven to savelives.org. We got a lot more football to talk about. Rainy night, perfect football weather, some strong conditions. The man who has the results that you're all waiting for, Network Indiana's Josh Mullenix.
All right, I know we said we were going to go down all 94 games around the state. We will get to that, but real quick, since the last time I spoke to you, we have a Class A boys soccer state champion. Westview defeats Providence 4-2 in overtime. Westview winning their first boys soccer state championship by defeating the defending state champions. Okay, football, 94 scores in the next hour. Let's get to it. In Class 6A, Maryville, 29-13 winners over Crown Point. Lafayette Jefferson, 54-6 victors over Lake Central. Chesterton shutting out Portage 16-0. Penn defeated Elkhart 21-7, and Carroll defeated Homestead 21-0. Westfield and Hamilton Southeastern each taking care of business. Westfield defeated Noblesville 49-6, and HSC taking care of Fishers 34-0. They'll go toe-to-toe next Friday. Carmel beat Avon 35-21. Brownsburg dominating Pike by a fashion of 37-0. Ben Davis 41-14 winners over Southport. Indianapolis Tech 25-20 over Perry Meridian. Lawrence North 41-21 over North Central. We talked to Greg Rakestraw earlier. Lawrence Central 13, Warren Central 8, and Center Grove number 1 in 6A 35-7 over Franklin Central. In 5A, Munster 23-0 over Hammond Central, and Valpo took care of Hammond Morton 30-0. Michigan City 42-0 over South Bend Adams. Mishawaka in a ranked matchup against Concord 35-7. Fort Wayne Snyder 21-17, a close one over Fort Wayne Northrop. Fort Wayne Dwenger 10-7, another one close one there in Fort Wayne. A couple good ones there. 10-7 victors over Fort Wayne North. Zionsville over Harrison 42-21, and Kokomo took care of Anderson 35-6. Cathedral 54-7 over Plainfield in dominating fashion. Decatur Central 49-14 over Terre Haute South. Whiteland 31-7 victors over Columbus East, and New Pal takes care of Franklin 29-7. You had a close one between Bloomington South and Castle, with Bloomington taking home a 16-14 victory. Bloomington North went toe-to-toe with Evansville North and narrowly escaped with a 35-30 victory. New Albany 28-7 winners over Floyd Central, and to round out 5A, Seymour defeated Bedford North Lawrence 18-10. Class 4A, Lowell, Gary West 51-14 in favor of Laurel, and Hobart 55-0 over East Chicago Central. South Bend St. Joseph 21-0 over Kankakee Valley, and New Prairie defeated Culver Academy 23-7. Leo, number 2 in Class 4A, 44-14 victors over DeKalb, and Northridge defeated Columbia City 35-21. Fort Wayne 40-27 over Delta. Mississinawa 42-27 over New Haven. Connorsville, 42-36, a close, high-scoring game, defeating Richmond. We talked about Mount Vernon earlier, a 49-34 win over Greenfield Central, and they ran the ball all over the place in that one. Bishop Chittard, 51-0 over Shortridge. Roncalli, number 1 in 4A, 42-14. Martinsville took care of South Dearborn, 38-7. East Central 52-26 over Mooresville. Last two in 4A, Evansville Memorial 35-0 over Evansville Central, and Northview took care of Evansville Wrights 49-28. We'll get to Class 3A the next time I talk to you. Until then, for Network Indiana Sports, I'm Josh Mullenix.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. This is Indiana Sports Talk. High school football tonight. New Palestine beats Franklin 29-7. Andrew Smith, Crosscom Communications, joins me. You know, I'm sitting in my home in Franklin doing this show, so this pains me to see this score, but I know it's a good, really good New Pal team, Andrew.
Yeah, it's a really good New Pal team that's really hitting its stride right now, too. And I really like what Chris Cole's doing at Franklin. They're
So do I.
really solid team that just has run into a buzzsaw of a schedule this year. Of course, the Mid-State Conference is very tough, and then you add to that drawing a really good, kind of red-hot New Palestine team in the first game of the sectional, and of course the game was played in a driving rainstorm. So really, I think that took both teams out of what they wanted to do offensively, and Franklin likes to run a lot of run-pass option-type plays, and you just couldn't pass tonight. And I think that played into the Dragons' hands with that massive offensive line that they have, and they were able to get Grayson Thomas going throughout the game. But really, this game was won by New Palestine on special teams, and the conditions really played a factor in it. Dragons had an early 3-0 lead after a Brendan Tanksley field goal on the opening drive, but twice in the first half, Franklin's first two punts, the snap went over the punter's head. First time was down at the 5. That led to a 1-yard touchdown run by Damon Hockett. The second went for a safety, and then on the ensuing free kick, Isaiah Thacker took the kickoff back 65 yards for a touchdown. So a minute into the second quarter, New Palestine had a 19-0 lead, and really had one sustained drive. And from there, the Grizzly Cubs were just behind the 8 ball because it's difficult to come back in conditions like this. And Brendan Tanksley hit a career-long 40-yard field goal at the halftime gun to extend the lead to 22-0. And then in the second half, the Grizzly Cubs really got going, had a really nice 19-play, 86-yard drive. They ended with a touchdown run by quarterback Clay Pennick. But they're feeling pretty good. There's 36 seconds left. You think if you can get a stop, get the ball back, get back in the game, because it was a 2-score game. They got the ball back with 58 seconds to go in the game. New Palestine answered with a 20-play, 90-yard, 11.5-minute drive that ended with a touchdown run by Grayson Thomas. They converted 2 fourth downs, a third down. It was as long and impressive of a drive as I've seen, and it was all on the ground. Damon Hockett, the quarterback, and Grayson Thomas, the running back, just keeping the Grizzly Cubs off balance, and Grayson Thomas capped that off. He finished the night with a career-high 34 carries for 146 yards, and Damon Hockett had 61 yards as well, and running the ball. And Franklin was held to 78 total yards in this game, and a really impressive performance by a New Palestine defense that the Dragons have won 6 straight. That is the 4th straight opponent New Palestine has held to less than 200 total yards. And tonight was the first time the number 1 defense had given up a point in the last 4 games. So New Pal, especially defensively, kind of hitting its stride right now. They're 7-3, and they're going to take on a really, really good Whiteland team next week at New Palestine for the sectional championship.
Andrew Smith, Crosscom Communications, on the call of New Pal's 29-7 win over Franklin Community. Andrew, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too, Coach.
Hamilton Southeastern shuts out Fishers 34-0. Mike Kelly joins me. Coach, congratulations on the impressive win tonight.
Thank you. It was a fun game, and in spite of the conditions, it was a fun game for our students and our players and our coaching staff, for sure.
We know how huge that game is. It's the Mud Sock. It's the rematch of the Mud Sock. You got a chance to win the first one. Certainly, this one seemed easier score-wise. How much of a factor were the conditions for you?
I would not say it was easier this time than the first time. The conditions made it pretty rough, and we went into halftime. I believe the score was 7-0, and we were able to open up the third quarter with a big kick return for Owen Jones. Took the ball back to the 5-yard line, and we were able to punch it in. 2 plays later, Blaine Warts, one of his 3 touchdown runs he had for the night, and then it was the third quarter was the change in the momentum for our program and our team, and it came to life in that second half.
All right, who do you play next week?
We get to go to Westfield.
Okay, you're good. You're going to be the best, got to beat the best. That's how you look at it.
Right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. And I think, we're excited about the opportunity. The get the monkey off the back. HSC we've not won a sectional game since moving to 6A. So this was a big win for us, but we're not stopping here. We got big plans for next week and get excited
Coach,
about the opportunity to compete.
We got to run. Mike Kelly, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir.
Tonight's Player with Heart brought to you by Beck's Hybrids. At Beck's, they are and will remain farmers at heart.
We'll pick it up in Class 3A, where we'll start with Hanover Central, a 41-0 win over Benton Central. Knox defeated River Forest 39-14, and Gemtown defeated John Glenn 22-3. Mishawaka 29-0 victors over Tippecanoe Valley. Norwell 27-0 over Fort Wayne Concordia. In double overtime, Peru 30-28 over Oak Hill. Brebeuf Jesuit 35-8 over North Montgomery. Garin Catholic fell to Western Boone 23-6 this evening. Tri-West defeated Indianapolis Ritter 35-2. An interesting final score there. Danville 39-6 over Indian Creek. Vincennes Lincoln 28-0 shutout over Edgewood. Another shutout, Owen Valley 34-0 over Brown County. Brownston Central 28-14 over Batesville. Lawrenceburg defeated Greensburg 15-7. Heritage Hills 36 points, good enough to beat Evansville Bosse 36-28. And to round out 3A, Gibson Southern defeated Salem 56-21. In 2A, Andrian 28-2 over Rensselaer Central. Whiting 6-0, a close one there over Boone Grove. Pioneer defeated Delphi 18-0, and Lavelle defeated Bremen 14-6. We'll finish up in the next scoreboard update and get you ready for next week. For Network Indiana Sports, I'm Josh Mullinex.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. This is Indiana Sports Talk. High school football tonight, 6A number 1 defending champs, Center Grove, 35-7 winners over Franklin Central. Eric Moore joins me. Coach, I greatly appreciate you taking time after the win to call. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bob. It's great to continue to win, and appreciate all you do.
I appreciate it. It is good to win, especially on a night like tonight. This is football weather, as you guys like to say.
A lot of rain, sort of wet out there tonight, but I'm sure the kids all over the state had fun and had some good high school games.
You know what? You guys, I think now is when you appreciate experienced guys, driven guys who've been through this ordeal, not ordeal, but this journey, if you will, more than once. And now's when you appreciate what they do and what they mean to your program.
Yeah, this is a tough stretch of the road here. These sectional games after a fall break or a bye week and stuff like that, and teams having 2 weeks off, it's hard keeping high school kids interested in football and keeping the enthusiasm and all that going on. It's tough on the parents and fans and everybody, but you play on and you hope you can win and play on, and that's the only thing it's important now is just to try to win the game in advance.
One of the foundations of your program has been strong defensive play, and certainly it surfaced tonight.
Yeah, I thought our D-line did an outstanding job, as they have all year, and our linebackers tackled well. Secondary didn't give up, any big plays. But usually it often and always in championship teams comes from great defenses. And, our kicking game was good tonight as well. So I can appreciate a kicker being able to kick in the bad weather.
Right, absolutely. And there's your long snapper and your holders. I mean, there are three guys involved in all this, and it's magnified, especially when you have bad conditions.
Yeah, they really got to concentrate and want to do what they do, better than anybody. Sometimes you forget about those kids and until they make a mistake. But our kids were right on task tonight with that. And, then our offense was well. Our quarterback, Taven Jackson, played fantastic tonight, threw the ball around, had some fun in the rain, and our running backs ran well. The offensive line did a decent job. We got to get a little bit better there. But we're proud of our effort, and again, just happy to be advancing to the next week. Sectionals are long and it's hard to win.
Well, one of my next guests, Paul Condry, will tell you winning the sectional is the hardest championship to win in the state. Quite frankly, with all the things you have to deal with.
Yeah, with school and the end of 9 weeks and fall breaks and bye weeks and double byes and all that stuff and the travel. Keeping kids focused and on task, it's hard. It's not like it's college, where you have them all day long and they got to do exactly what you say. So
right,
you take that off programs that can do that, and the kids for wanting to, and even the kids, when they don't win the sectionals for hanging on and playing that last high school football game. It's just good for the sport.
Center Grove over Franklin Central, 35-7. Eric Moore, thank you so much as always, Coach. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it, and thanks for all you do for high school football.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We go from 1A to 6A, number 1, Center Grove, to 5A, number 1, Cathedral. Cathedral beats Plainfield tonight, 54-7. You don't know how hard it is for me to say that. Coach Bill Peebles, congratulations.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
It hurts. I mean, I'm a Quaker, buddy. I bleed red and blue. Are you kidding me? I always have. And, but I know you're good. I know they're young, but your team played awfully well tonight.
It did. And I'll tell you what, Plainfield played well. They did a good job. I'll tell you, they scored in the first quarter. It's the first points we've given up the first quarter of the entire year. Plainfield went down, and so it wasn't as easy of a game as what the score indicated. They did a great job. They're well coached. They're doing what they need to do, and the score is a little bit deceiving.
Yeah, but still, defensively, as I talked with Eric, you heard that conversation. Same thing with you. Defense, this group has really been solid defensively, as you point out, all year long.
They've been unbelievable. I kind of was joking with my defense coordinator, Adam Barth, who's done an unbelievable good job. The fact that this is the first time we've given up points in the first quarter, we've played a pretty good schedule.
Right.
It is a testament to what those kids are doing, what he's doing.
All right, who plays well for you tonight?
Defensively, across the board, they played really well again. Offensively, we're kind of hitting our stride a little bit. The last couple of weeks, Danny's our quarterback, Danny O'Neill, is getting very comfortable in our offense. He was 11 of 14 for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and ran for 2. And so played great. Seth Menser, senior running back for us, had 11 carries for 60-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. So those guys played outstanding games today, and really proud of our kids. And now we get ready for Decatur Central and a sectional championship game next week.
Well, I wish you the best. Bill Peebles is the football coach at Cathedral. They're number 1 in 5A, defending champs to beat Plainfield 54-7. Taking on Decatur Central next week. Coach, thanks for your time, and congratulations again on a great win.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Coming up, we're going to talk with the legend himself, Paul Condry. Paul Condry from the Regional Radio Sports Network will join me. Paul, how are you tonight?
Doing good, Coach. Great to
Paul.
be with you tonight.
All right, I did one good team, Center Grove, Cathedral, Maryville in that conversation too. Tonight, 29-13 winners over Crown Point. What a win! Yeah,
it was a mess up here. The rain came in sheets from left to right throughout the night, but it was Lavarion Logan, the workhorse, as Maryville decided to go with the running game tonight. Logan, 40 carries, 270 yards. Maryville only threw 8 passes on the night. They decided to go conservative. Crown Point really played pretty well for the most part, but it was Maryville's defense doing what it needed to do. They shut Crown Point down 0 for 6 on 4th down conversions, but it was an 11-play, 85-yard drive that took 6:46 off the clock that put the final score at 29-13 as Crown Point actually had cut the lead to 10 at one point in time. That's the first time Maryville's starters have played in the fourth quarter, the entire season, Coach. So it's a situation where Brad Cease wasn't sure how his guys were going to be able to play in a competitive situation, but they did what they needed to do. They got the win, and that's what this team has done all season long. They just keep getting better and better each and every day, and here you are. They're now 10-0 for the first time since 1992, and a chance to take on Lafayette Jeff in the next round.
Not a senior start. No starters have played in the fourth quarter. With the schedule they play is an amazing stat.
Right, and they've got 31 seniors in this group. I think they're pretty focused, and we got some pretty good talent on that group. And they've won back-to-back Inland Conference championships, a pretty competitive league. Played with the likes of Valparaiso, Michigan City, Chesterton. All three of those teams are certainly teams that potentially could win a sectional championship in their respective classes. And make no mistake about it, it's a Maryville team that I think that I think they got caught looking ahead a little bit because they scored 21 points in the first 5 minutes of the football game. They kind of put it on cruise control, and I give Crown Point a lot of credit for battling back and making it a competitive football game. They never went away and made Maryville earn the football win tonight, and that's what it was all about.
He is in the Hall of Fame for a reason. He's great at what he does. The publisher of the Indiana Football Digest, founder of the Regional Radio Sports Network, and good guy. Paul Condrey, thanks so much. Have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you next weekend.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Coming up, more football and we're talking about soccer championships when we come back on Indiana Sports Talk.
From high above the circle in downtown Indianapolis, my name is Josh Molinex, and this is an Indiana Sports Talk scoreboard update. We pick up in 2A, where Eastside defeated Central Noble 38-6. Fort Wayne Lures 44-7 win over Prairie Heights. Eastbrook, the number 1 team in Class 2A, a 46-13 victory over LaPel. Tipton 44-18 win over Alexandria. Lafayette Central Catholic shut out Southmont to a tune of 27-0. Speedway 12-6 close one win over Monrovia. Cecina defeated Shenandoah 34-0, and Centerville, in similar fashion, defeated Northeastern 21-0. Paoli 28-14 win over Providence. Triton Central beat Clarksville in convincing fashion 42-7. North Posey 41-18 win over North Knox, and Mater Dei defeated Linton 28-27 to round out 2A action. In 1A, Culver defeated South Central 18-0. North Judson 40-13 winners over Winnemac. Clinton Prairie defeated Tri-County 44-14. Carroll 25-7 over Traders Point Christian. We've talked about that South Adams Monroe Central game plenty this evening. South Adams 6-3 winners there. Union City 59 points over Taylor, 59-26 the final score there. We'll finish up when we come back. For Network Indiana Sports, I'm Josh Molinex.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. This is Indiana Sports Talk. SAA soccer championships went from one football to another football. From the ISC Sports Network, our good friend Kurt Darling. Hello, Kurt.
Hey there, Coach. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great now that I'm talking to you. So catch me up. I've been a little preoccupied with the football. Catch me up on the games that you had tonight, and who's winning some championships.
Well, Coach, we had 2 first-time state champions in boys soccer, the other type of football that's going on tonight. So the first game that we had tonight on the IHSAA Champions Network was Brebeuf taking on West Lafayette. Now, keep in mind, Brebeuf started the season 0-7, and they have since come back and won 12 straight games to win their first state championship. So it was all Quinn Warren in the first half for the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves. He scored the first goal in the 38th minute, which is the quickest goal ever in state championship history for soccer. to start the game. So it was 1-0 early for Brebeuf Jesuit, but Evan Cook for West Lafayette was able to respond in the 29th minute to tie it up at 1 apiece. But then it was Quinn Warren yet again, a sophomore, mind you, standing 6'5". He scores another goal in the 8th minute to make it 2-1 to go to the halftime period in this first game. Then in the second half, it was pretty much a stalemate going into about the last minute. But in the very last minute, Stephon Bose, a junior who doesn't play any club soccer, mind you, he only plays in high school. He's their leading scorer this year. He puts the final dagger in it all for Brebeuf. So that makes it to a 3-1 win for Brebeuf Jesuit to win the Class 2A Boys State Finals here this evening. But that wasn't the end of the action, though. Going into the Class 1A game, it featured 16th-ranked Westview out of Topeka, Indiana, up in LaGrange County, facing Providence out of Clarksville in southern Indiana. So it was an excellent game, to say the least. But anyway, things got rolling early with Luke Jordan, who got the first goal for Providence to make it 1-0 in the 27th minute. But then Westview would respond in the 18th minute with a goal from Jaden Yoder. Then finally rounding things out in the first half would be Luke Jordan once again, who would make it 2-1 in the first half for Providence going into halftime. But here's the thing. Providence had the lead pretty much sealed up until about the last 2 minutes of the ball game in regulation. Well, guess what? Jaden Yoder comes back again for Westview. He scores to tie the game up, to send it to overtime. And then in overtime, it would be Muhammad Amir, the junior forward, putting it up 3-2 for Westview, and then putting it away was then Teague Meisner in the second overtime. Westview scores 3 unanswered goals to win the 1A state championship, 4-2 over Providence, their first state championship in school history for soccer. And now, mind you, that's a Westview team that won basketball state championships in '99 and 2000. So this is the first state championship that they've won in a sport that's not basketball. So an action-packed night of soccer at Carroll Stadium at IUPUI.
Absolutely. Now, with full disclosure, my grandson, my only grandchild, is a proud graduate of BJPS. He is a Brebeuf Jesuit prep graduate. I just sent him a text, and I'm sure he's awake down in Hanover. The text was very simple: Prep wins boys soccer championship, and I haven't gotten a reply yet. But listen, you go back and tell me about Quinn, the star of this Brebeuf kid. And then I want to talk about the kid who doesn't play on a club team, which is unheard of, for heaven's sakes.
Yes, that's right. So, Quinn Warren is the kid you're talking about here. Now, he's a sophomore. Right. Now, he's a player that can play both in goal as well as on the field. Now, during the season, he had 73 saves in goal, but tonight he was out on the field. He had 11 goals on the season coming into tonight, and so he scores two more to make it 13 overall on the season. He's 6'5". And that's the thing. He's still growing into his body as a sophomore. And so talking to Coach Zavaleta, he's still trying to figure himself out.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is he's just able to handle the ball so well, and he came up big, especially early, in scoring the quickest goal now in state championship history. So he puts himself into the annals of history there for IHSAA. But then the next kid that you're referring to there is Stephon Bose. Now, he doesn't play any club soccer at all. Now, the rest of these kids, a lot of them play club soccer out of the 9 months out of the year whenever they're not playing high school soccer. And so to be as good as he is without playing club soccer is unheard of. He had 13 goals coming into the season. He finishes the season with 14. He's the leading scorer for Brebeuf without playing a lick of club soccer. But the reason why he doesn't play club soccer is because he's so focused on academics, according to Coach Zach Zavaleta. So he's so inclined to make sure that he's staying up on his academics that he doesn't have time to play club soccer. So he's just fine playing high school soccer, and it certainly works for him.
All right, so are you working tomorrow?
Nope, I am off tomorrow. I get a break after calling a lot of soccer here over the last couple weekends.
A break? What is that?
I do.
What is that called?
I know, right? So
Yeah.
it'll be some interesting. So you'll be hearing from my colleagues Greg Rakestraw and John Herrick, who will have the call of the girls' state finals as well as the remaining boys' state finals game between Noblesville and Carmel. So that'll be a heck of a game for boys' Class 3A state championship action.
Who's playing in the girls' championship?
I don't have the championships right in front of me, but the Carmel girls are also playing tomorrow.
Right,
So you have two Carmel teams in the state finals tomorrow. So it'll be an action-packed day for Greyhounds fans, to say the least.
He's Kurt Darling from the IHSAA TV network on the call of state finals in soccer. Boys soccer tonight, Brebeuf Jesuit with a win, and Westview with a win. Two state champions crowned tonight. Great to talk to you. I appreciate it, Kurt. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Coach. You do the same.
Thank you very much. Let's go Prep. That's all I have to say. I'm happy for my grandson's old school, and it's fun to hear those particular stories about those players. That's good stuff. This is Indiana Sports Talk, brought to you by Indiana Donor Network, driven to SaveLives.org. Sign up today. Help lives in the future. Anyone can sign up. No age limits, no health restrictions to sign up to be an organ donor. Every 10 minutes, someone is added to the donor transplant waiting list. There are more than 1,000 Hoosiers right now waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. And by signing up to be an organ or tissue donor, you can help save 8 lives and heal 75 others. Again, driven to SaveLives.org. College football tomorrow. North Carolina at Notre Dame. IU at Maryland. Purdue at Nebraska. Ball State has Saturday off. They'll play on Tuesday night. Indiana State at South Dakota State. Anderson at Mount St. Joseph's. Butler at Dayton. Denison at DePaul. Franklin College at Defiance. Manchester on the road at Hanover College. Siena Heights will be at Indiana Wesleyan University. University of Indianapolis at Missouri S&T. Marion University has the day off. Rose-Hulman is at Bluffton. We'll come back, talk some college football. A reminder, high school football, great night tonight. I want to congratulate everybody, win, lose, tonight. And if your career has ended, I congratulate you on the hard work and effort and the dedication you put in. These are lessons you'll learn the rest of your life. For those of you who won, I wish you the best next week. Scoreboard update, last one of the night. This is Network Indiana's Indiana Sports Talk.
For the last time this evening, my name is Josh Molnex, and this is an Indiana Sports Talk scoreboard update. We'll finish out the scores from this evening in Class 1A. Triton, 22-13 victors over Northfield. Adams Central dominating Southwood 56-0. Park Heritage defeating South Putnam in a ranked matchup 38-6. Riverton Park 14-12 in a close one over Covington. Covenant Christian defeated Indianapolis Tenley 35-0. Lutheran 25-13 victors over Park Tudor. North Decatur taking care of Milan 26-12. Tri in the most lopsided final of the evening. They defeated Knightstown 79-0. Springs Valley took care of business on their own 35-0 over West Washington. And finally, the last score of the evening in Class 1A, North Central defeated Tecumseh 12-8. On the basketball court, the Pacers fell to the Brooklyn Nets 105-98 this evening. Torrey Craig had it for the blue and gold, and pretty much nobody else did. Craig, 28 points, 11 rebounds, but the Pacers as a team just 37 of 93 from the field. They're 1-5 on the season. Notre Dame takes on UNC at 7:30 tomorrow night. IU is at Maryland. Purdue is at Nebraska tomorrow afternoon, and Coach Bob Love will be back tomorrow night to talk college football. For Network Indiana Sports, I'm Josh Molnex.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. This is Indiana Sports Talk. Glad you could join us. I will tell you what, Brad Huber, Pacers, can you help me out here? 1-5. Didn't really shoot it very well. Is that what I'm hearing?
Sounds like it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really look at the stats or those type of things.
What were you doing? You just hanging out?
I've been busy trying to get all the callers on there and everything with high school football tonight. But one thing is too, I'm not able to watch the Pacers games at all, as is anybody else who has a streaming service. So it's kind of hard to keep up with what the Pacers have been doing all year. So
I share your pain. I understand. I fully understand media and decisions that get made. Just a reminder to everybody, it's about money, and so we will be in the middle. But from a basketball standpoint, let me also remind everyone, it's a brand new year. It's a brand new coach. Injuries have been an issue. I know they're 1-5. There are a whole lot of games to be played. Just relax a little bit. Have a little bit of faith. Things will work out. It's that way. Now, tomorrow, college football. You and I have already talked about your beloved Ball State Cardinals. Right now, they're off. They play Tuesday night. Who do they play Tuesday night?
They will play at Akron on Tuesday at 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network.
All right, so we have North Carolina, Notre Dame. That's a night game tomorrow night, correct?
That is 7:30 on NBC, so we'll talk about that on Indiana Sports Talk and with our friend Dr. Clark tomorrow night as well.
Dr. Lynn Clark will join us. IU at Maryland. What time? That's a noon start?
Noon kickoff on the Big Ten Network. Yeah, we got a nice little triple header tomorrow because you have Indiana and Maryland at noon, and then you at 3:30 you have Purdue at Nebraska, and then the nightcapper 7:30 North Carolina and Notre Dame. So football fans across the state have a good little triple header tomorrow afternoon and evening.
If you and I didn't have to do a college football show on our Indianapolis affiliate, the Fan, I could just sit there and watch ball all day long, but unfortunately, not unfortunately, but we have other things to do. But that will be interesting. The interesting thing is IU was on their fourth string quarterback, correct?
Correct, yes, with Michael Penix and Jack Tuttle both week to week. Coach Tom Allen said Jack Tuttle is week to week. It's not as bad an injury as it could have been, which means season ending. But, yeah, Donovan McCulley is a third-string quarterback, and he got one possession against Ohio State. And then Grant Gremmel, who is from Noblesville, Indiana, played a good part of that second half against Ohio State. So it'll be interesting to see who is the quarterback for Coach Tom Allen and the Hoosiers tomorrow afternoon at Maryland.
Well, listen. We're hopeful that whomever gets the nod will play well. Onus now will be on this offensive line to provide protection. I would assume that the playbook will be shortened a little bit. A relatively conservative game plan. Defensively, got to make plays. You got to try to win this one with your defense. And I think it's clearly possible. This is not an overwhelming Maryland team, is it not? You can beat this. You can beat this team.
Yeah, it's a very winnable ball game for Indiana, and if you can play well, they're finally getting a break because all of their losses have come against top 10 teams in the country. So I don't think there's been one team in the country that's had a harder schedule than Indiana's had this year, just being in the Big Ten East Division, which arguably is the best division in all of college football.
That's pretty good. I know that. All right, so we got that. We got those games. And then we'll come back, Brad, you and I, we'll talk more college football on Network Indiana's Indiana Sports Talk. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. This is Indiana Sports Talk, brought to you by Indiana Donor Network, driven to savelives.org. Sign up today to help lives in the future. Anyone can sign up. No age limits. No health restrictions to sign up to be an organ donor. Every 10 minutes, someone is added to the donor transplant waiting list. More than 1,000 Hoosiers are waiting for life-saving organ transplants. And by signing up to be an organ tissue donor, you can be of help in saving 8 lives and healing 75 others. Website, driventosavelives.org. Brad Hubert rejoins me. We were talking off air about Purdue Boilermakers with a trip to Nebraska tomorrow. They're sitting on 5 wins right now, and it's not something that a whole lot of people are talking about. 4 wins, sitting on 4, and a Nebraska win gets them closer and closer to being bowl eligible, and you don't hear much discussion about that.
No, you don't. They've had a good season despite their tandem quarterbacking for the season this year with Aiden O'Connor and Jack Plummer, a little bit of Austin Burton in there as well. But, yeah, those 2 quarterbacks, Aiden O'Connor, Jack Plummer, they have Nebraska tomorrow, which really is a must-win if the Boilers want to get to bowl eligibility, because then they have Michigan State and Ohio State. Those will be tough. And then if they can beat Nebraska but then lose to those 2 teams, they'll need one of Northwestern at Wrigley Field in Chicago or the bucket game at Ross-Ade Stadium against Indiana to get to that magical 6th win and get back to a bowl game for the Purdue Boilermakers.
A whole lot on the line in these upcoming games for IU and Purdue. I think the IU story is well documented. Everybody understands the quarterback issues that they're having. I think we all know that, but you got to go out and play and win the games that you have scheduled there. So it's okay. I think it's a situation with one of those. It's one of those things injury-wise. It's all part of it. We understand it. And we certainly wish the best for everybody tomorrow. On the small college front, Anderson's at Mount St. Joseph. I wouldn't say I didn't mean to slight Indiana State. Indiana State's at South Dakota State. It's hard to win when you go to the Dakotas. We're hopeful that the Sycamores can do that, but it is very difficult to do that. Butler at Dayton, Denison at DePaul. My alma mater, Franklin College, is on the road at Defiance. Manchester at Hanover, Siena Heights at Indiana Wesleyan, University of Indianapolis at Missouri S&T. Marion is off. Rose-Hulman is at Bluffton. Brad Huber, great job tonight. Josh Mullenix, great job tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. Brad and I'll be back. We're working all day tomorrow, so we're just we're stuck with each other. Thank you so much to our great stations around the state that bring you our show every Friday and Saturday night. Thanks to all of you for listening and making us the most listened to sports talk show in our state's history. It is the history-making, legendary Network Indiana's Indiana Sports Talk.